Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. Um, and I have some really interesting things to show you in light of some things that's going on Facebook. So, as you know, on Facebook, they banned Minister Louis Farrakhan from Facebook. And while I'm not a big fan of Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, I do understand that there's a problem when people like Google and Facebook target those men with whom they believe they cannot control. Period. All right. This is not the land of the free, the home of the brave, but more or less the land of the greed and the home of the slave. And each time YouTube and Facebook are reminding Afro people that no matter how much we try and struggle to get off from under their thumbs, all right, they will find a way to bind us. All right. Now, let me say this. I think one of the main problems Google had with their platform, and I'm going to go on and say it, is with Afro men making enough money to be able to support themselves. You know, do stuff like pay child support and all the rest of that stuff. And they said, it seemed like they said in their heads, we're not going to tolerate this. So let's stick people by a certain men's channel to prevent them from ever elevating. Because even though they're telling the truth, we want to make sure that they understand that this is a slave platform where if you don't do exactly what Google wants, they will block your ability. They will block your ability to make anything. And since a lot of Afro men started looking into lawyering up in order to sue Google, they at least allow us to speak now. Willie D had a lot to do with that. All right. But we have one other problem, and that is the continued hypocrisy of Google. What am I talking about? So I decided to run another test drive to see where I am. So I've been listening to Google and all of their lies about how they made their monetization more fair. It's going to be the same across the platform, right? They lied. All right. They're outright lying. They are still blocking certain channels the same way to make sure that the platform will never be used, can never be used to make any kind of living. And I know if they're doing it to me, they're doing it to everyone. So you say, Nabi. I say, what? You say, Nabi. I say, what? You say, what's the problem? Nabi, what do you see? I'm about to show you something. So what I did was a few of my videos, I went, and these next new videos, I start monetizing. And that's because a lot of what I'm doing, I start doing stuff for children that are coming over from other war-torn countries, and there's a particular sister complex to where I stay, where I started, using my resources to help those families out. So, needless to say, I just decided to see if it was possible for me to monetize videos. All right. Now, granted, I fall well within Google's guidelines and stuff. But what I am saying to you all, that there are certain built-in biases where they're letting either racial elements or racist Afro women, no, not Afro, black women, or white women, whomever, determine what channels get monetized, even if they're speaking on the same story. All right. So, y'all remember the thing that I put out about Oprah and Neverland? All right. And y'all know I put the FBI papers up in there. My stuff is very, very fact based. You know, like the slavery thing that I'm doing. When we're discovering that no, black men weren't slave owners, they would like to make you think it was in order to divert your attention to protect the real slave owners was there have always been a healthy relationship to the black women and white men, between black women and white men. And that relationship has been always been detrimental to the Afro man. And we see the same kind of relationship. Remember, this apocalypse started with black women going through and taking down the channels of Afro men. All right. So much so that anytime you try to put the evidence up, Google tries to flag the evidence. I want y'all to marinate on that. Why would you try to flag the evidence of a direct bias towards people strictly because they are males and their race? Why would you do that? You see, there's a lot of funky stuff going on. All right, there's a lot of funky stuff going on with all of this. And what happened is that many of us backed the stuff up, took pictures, you know, backed up the pictures because we knew that there was going to be some stuff. So, yes, did I back the pictures up? Yes, I did. I backed the pictures up because I knew that they were trying to get rid of the evidence that they allowed black women to take down the channels of Afro men. These women went, made a list, and checked it twice. They were naughty and was never nice. All right. And so since then, there has always been a problem. Let me give you a brief glimpse, real quick, on what happened. Right? Since they're not going to allow things to be monetized, we just might as well put everything up in the open. So first, I want y'all to look at this. I want y'all to look at a couple of things. On my channel, I talked about Oprah Winfrey. And so what I did was I went back and I looked at the video and I started monetizing the videos. And again, it's the same trend. Videos that make it over a certain threshold and become very, very popular, they demonetize and then they confirm by manual view. All right. With the not suitable for most advertisers. But then a black woman could be naked with see-through lingerie, and that's suitable for advertisers. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's kind of comparing porn to logical, thought out thoughts. So Google might be into black women soft porn on YouTube. Okay, well, let's compare Oprah stories to Oprah stories. And this is how we're going to do this. As y'all see, the commercials are blocked on this channel. Now, I didn't have commercials at the very, very beginning. But I want y'all to see something. First, let's look at the titles. All right. So we're going to get rid of CBS, The Breakfast Club, Canada and stuff, and go get rid of all of the people that they want you to see that they have up top. All right, let's look at this one.
It's time to.
That means there's a commercial on it. Let's look at this one. That's a commercial. A commercial. All right. I don't know what that was. Daytime. This. Okay, that's that. All right. So if you look at these, okay. So some of these are not, but many of these, and I think some of them aren't because of their subscriber base. All right. And so, yeah, I'm looking at some of the rest of these, but those of us that can monetize, are not being able to. That if you're an Afro male, I wonder if the Avi show is able to monetize. But his is kind of a syndication kind of thing. So all of these are regular HBO news channels, but regular people cannot monetize. So that's CBS, CNN, and all the rest of that stuff, right? So as we go and look forward, what I am starting to understand is these women. Let's just bring it out in the open. These women, just to prove that I keep the receipts, they went on Facebook, formed a group. all right, told themselves to be savvy, and they went and start flagging only black men's channels, Afro men's channels. If you are melanated men, they flagged your channel. And Google and YouTube pretty much allowed this to persist to the point it became infectious. All right. At the top of the thing was Obsidian. Me, I was what? I was 12 down. They went after the Black Authority. They went. So every thinking man, David Carroll, every thinking black man, you wonder why I'm putting up all the slavery thing, because it's relevant to what I am talking about today. They had little codes for when they were successful at taking the channels down. Now, why am I talking about this now? I want to prove to you once and for all, especially for them little weak minded, good for nothing simps, that these women never had our best interest. People keep wondering, some black woman keeps saying, oh, I wonder who hurt you. Think about this. Who's hurting us? A group of black women. All right. Their purpose was to get these companies to not wait a minute. They want Afro men to pay them child support, but these clowns do not want the man to have the ability to work to pay the child support that they want from the Afro man. Oh, it gets worse. And when he don't pay it, they want him to go to jail. They want his life stripped. And why? Because these women used to be the slave masters. When we were fighting in the Gullah Wars and fighting for our freedom in other wars, we were fighting against the black woman and the white man, primarily. Let's not white everybody that came to this country at that time, to include the Indians, the white women, they all owned slaves. But what is the key difference here? The key difference here is the black women of today have argued that they've always had our back. They have argued that they were the ones being raped. They have argued that they were the ones that were being victimized in it. And as this research starts coming out, we start to find out, oh, hell to the no. That not only were these women the willing participants, but they worked it so good that they became worse slave owners to their own families and black people than the Caucasians were. And the Caucasians were bad. I want you to think about this. How bad of a slave owner were black women when their slaves ran away from them, ran to the Caucasians and said, let us, please, we want you to be our slave master. Think about this. Y'all seen the documentation that I put up. Now, here's the other big secret. The other big secret is this, that this is history that everyone knew about except for us, Afro men. Our children don't know about this. Our children do not know, and they tried to keep it secret, that the black women were the oppressors of the Afro community. When we talk about slavery and black people owning slaves, 70% of those black people that owned slaves were women. 70%. The other 30 were the mulattoes. So we get up in this, and it seems like that these companies are trying to continue to protect their cash cows. So the next cash cow that they want to protect, because they propped her up. Oh, don't let anybody fool you when they say Oprah on her own got all this stuff, that Oprah is a self-made woman. She is not a self-made woman. She got her money in media. Who owns the media? White men always owned her because they own the media. They propped her up. They propped her up to destroy the image of Afro men. When somebody got too high, then they bring in their woman because she's on their team. Let's not get it twisted. Black women are on white men's team. That's why when they come to me in my comment section, they're always crying, oh, you need to stop talking about us. It's not all. And at no point do you hear me say all. But think about that. Think of how inclusive, how they tried to include all black women in their group. Oh yeah, if you want me to run for Kevin Morris, if you want me to run for president, just put out Nabi for president. Laughing at us. Kevin Morris says, Nabi, you should run for president. But I mean, let's get back to this, right? I have to clown black women left and right because they come on and they have a problem with my channel. All right? They have a problem with what I have to say. Ooh, they have a problem with the Bible. They have a problem with the research. Hold on. This is why I have a problem with them having a problem with the Bible. Not because people should have a problem with the Bible. That ain't what they're having a problem with. They're having a problem that I read it and they didn't. I'm calling them out for not reading the Bible. When I show them stuff in it, they'll disagree with what is written in black and white. Will disagree. They will get other women to come and support them, and then they'll say, "Okay, oh, you come and be on my side." They're looking for somebody to be on their side and not the truth, right? Because they're trying to win an argument when they've already lost the battle and the war. How do they lose it? Attrition. Because when it seems like it's somebody I would help, I sit there, we talk about religion and politics, and as soon as they pull some mess like that, I know not to help them or their children. So now they're like, man, I need somebody. We need men to come and help me with my son. No, you don't. Right? This woman says, Sidel P, is one thing not to prefer black women, and nobody said that black men did not prefer black women. I want you to understand it. The problem with black women is they're hypocrites and they're no good for us. And we know this because we preferred black women. I'm going to break that down in a minute. But why are you going out to knock us? I'm not knocking them. I'm putting up videos of them destroying the Afro man and the child on a regular hour to hourly basis daily. She goes, there are bad people in all races. All right. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about bad people. We acknowledge that. I'm talking about that women as a group, as a conglomerate, when Afro men started to build something, they banded together to destroy it. I just showed you that. She goes, who hurt you? All black women are not like this. I acknowledge all women with melanin are not like this, but I'm guessing that the ones that refer to themselves as black are. We should come together and stop knocking each other. All right, this is a woman that can't knock me or what I am saying. This is a woman that can't knock all any other dudes that don't want to be bothered with them. Why can't she knock any of the dudes that don't want to be bothered with them? Huh? Why? I'm gonna tell you why she can't knock any of the dudes that don't want to be bothered with them. We know who they are because we preferred them first. In other words, we don't prefer them now, but because we preferred them and they were wicked towards and evil and malicious towards us when we preferred them. So now we're wising up and understanding that they should not have been a preference. But what we're starting to discover now is the mentality of the woman that we used to prefer. Because the mentality of that woman says, of that woman, the black woman says that she never preferred us. And anytime we tried to build something up, if they did not agree with it, they banded together in a group and decided to take us down. Each man that talked about the Afro community and how we can improve it and how we can be warned as to what's going on. They went down the list and they kept tabs on who they terminated. And they called it a block party. Welcome to the block party. This is what black women mean by their time is now. Ladies, the time is now. Keep going. Momentum is growing. The black woman wants us destroyed. If we're not her slave, if we're not going to be her slave or the white man's slave, she wants us destroyed. If somehow we manage to stay out of the system, she wants to destroy us in another way, financially. If we have anything dependent upon the black women being in our midst, they will try to destroy us. They have gone on to jobs, into schools. They have gone lied on the Afro men. All right. Now, one of the things why I don't use the word all, brothers and sisters, one of the reasons I don't use the word all, because I have some sisters that support me. I have some sisters that support me. I expect the brothers to support me, but I have some sisters that support me. Right? It's few. I have way more sisters trying to destroy me than those that support me. All right? Period. All right, so I wanted to make this a live video like my regular videos because of this. I had to show you in real time that Google or somebody at Google is has still got their boot on this channel because they don't want y'all to understand the truth. And I'm gonna tell you something, because if anybody knows anything about somebody that does research, sooner or later they're going to run across something that people don't want heard. You heard? All right. Sooner or later. And I noticed that my videos don't function the way they should. I mean, I see a lot of stuff going on my channel. And I'm thinking, peculiar. Very, very peculiar. But I want y'all to understand this, that when they run this Who Hurt You, we have evidence. When they run this We Always Had Your Back, evidence says that they never had our back. And the best way for you to know it is when you are in disagreement, when they don't like what you do, they band together, come together like Voltron the cars, because there's many of them, as a big robot, form their flaming sword and try to destroy you and any other person. They come together as a group to try to destroy black men. If you don't believe me, I still have the receipts of what black women did in 2017 to black men's channels, and only black men's channels. And understand, they didn't go after anyone else. If we were talking about issues in the black community, yep. And that's why I don't help them anymore. Before that, I was helping black women with rent, bills, all the rest of that stuff, because I was using the money that I was making off of YouTube. All that money was going to helping them, children. But here's the catch. When they tore that down, I only go to help children now because they're worthless to help in my book. When you bite the hand that feeds you, the hand that hand don't feed you anymore. Right? There are a few sisters that have our backs. And I know this personally. Right? There's some that listen to this channel that help a brother out financially, that help the brother out with input, that support a brother. Some of them write to me on in an email that I put in the description box. All right. But of the millions that probably watch my channel, I could pick out 5. And that's the problem. All right. So I'm out, and y'all like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you want to donate to what I'm doing, my donation link will be in the description box. Headed back down on the 15th to Brazil, packing up. I got to write the names on all these balls. I started doing something in another apartment complex. Oh, let me just say this. So this was my idea. I had an idea. All right, for you brothers that really want to help out, I started buying shoes, tennis shoes, like new tennis shoes, like the Nike Huarache. Primarily that because I like that shoe, right? And so I'm taking a bunch to Brazil, and the guys at the airport, they started getting their act together. All right, and they start getting uniforms. I said, if you do these things, I'm gonna start sponsoring and making sure you have shoes straight and stuff like that. And hopefully, as they improve and they get older and stuff like that, they'll share that with their community. The things that I'm doing for them, right? And so they got uniforms and everything, right? So I'm taking shoes there, but I want to do this for brothers, like in places in consolidated areas where I can drive to, that's raising children by themselves and stuff like that. If we can just help each other out, and one of the brothers called me. He says we need to check in with one another. All right, we need to check in with one another. And so, yeah, that'll kind of be a thing. So that's the kind of thing I want to do too. Just start to spread this in our regular community. All right, and we need to look out. I have particular sisters that I want to drop by and see. All right, and make sure they're all right. We do have sisters, people, but I want to see and drop by and see and make sure they're all right. They're kind of spread out. The one in England, I ain't dropping by there. All right. But anyway, so that's kind of my idea. So like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. And other than that, I'm out. And what's up to everybody that came on? This was just like a regular video. So peace, love, and soul. Dang, I could do that today. I'm out, and I will holler at y'all later. Remember, they want us to be their slaves, and if they don't, we won't be their slaves. They want us eliminated. All right, peace, y'all.